Hello and welcome to today's stream on the 9th of November 2016. It's episode 10 of Coastal Lounge. We've hit double figures, so we got there. It only took us, how many? 8 months?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it only took us 8 months, you know. We spoil you with content. So today we've got the normal crew. We've got Aron, Zoe and Brendan.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
As well as special guest Robert from
Hello,
5MadMovieMakers, who was
everyone.
actually the first ever guest on Coastal Lounge. So big props to Rob. So he's back. So why don't you tell us what you do?
Hey everyone, I'm Robert. I have a YouTube channel called 5MadMovieMakers, and I post videos of toy roller coasters and sometimes stop motion animations. So pretty much I play with toys for a living right now, which is a lot of fun. But I'm also a big roller coaster fan and visited a lot of parks this year, or since the last time I was on Coaster Lounge. So we could
back
talk
in March.
all about that. Back in March, yeah, it's been over half a year.
So yeah, Robert was the very first. We decided Coastal Lounge was a thing in that stream. So it's very exciting that for the 10th one, and arguably probably the best one. I mean, I'm not going to get. I'm not going to start off with high hopes, but it is going to be the best one.
Yeah, let's just hope your PC will handle the stream.
We're forgetting that episode 9 wasn't a thing. That didn't exist, right? So we're just going to go straight in. So updates wise, the Q&A video went out last Sunday. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. There'll definitely be more Q&As in the future because you guys have a lot of questions. So if you want to ask some questions, maybe consider watching the Q&A video first, just to get an introduction of what questions have already been asked. And then, yeah, I will do one in the future, and I'll let you know when to ask questions for that and everything. Secondly, when we all went to Scarefest, except for Brendan because he slept in, when we all went to Alton Towers...
No, I was abducted by aliens.
That
When we all...
happens.
When we all went to Alton Towers Scarefest, me and Zoe recorded a lot of video. So sometime in the future, a Scarefest video, so just a general montage thing, will come up on the channel. It's a pretty long video, so look forward to that one. And that's about it. So no other news. Too lazy for news. Oh, I just realised that. All right, there we go. Someone asks if I'm a hardcore Trump fan. We're not going to talk politics today. No, we're not allowed.
I think it's been discussed.
Yeah, we discussed it pre-stream, so we don't need to go on about it. We're done. So yeah, do I collect pin badges? I do not. You can get the pop badges that Merlin give, but I find them really weird. Like they are weird, aren't they? So
Yeah, they're weird.
yeah, so I don't collect any type of pin badge or pop badge or whatever.
Are those
Yeah.
like the pins they have at Disneyland? Because those are huge. Like,
Yeah, kind of thing. Merlin do like these things called pop badges, which are like kind of like a disc, a small disc. Then you can put your lanyard through it, and the top pops off. So you put your lanyard through, and then you pop it back on, and it sticks to your lanyard.
Okay.
But they're really big and cumbersome, so it's a
Got
bit
it.
odd.
Because I mean, just the Disney pin market is huge. Like, there's people going through the parks that
Yeah.
have just a whole entire shirt full of them, you know,
Yeah.
and then they sell them for like, you know, $20 or $30 at antique stores, and it's crazy how it's a whole own little like economy.
Yeah. No, I don't collect anything like that. Do you?
I used to do pressed pennies.
Oh, I've got a load of pressed pennies from all of the Disneyland parks in Orlando. So
Nice.
I got a whole book of them because they were great and they were cheap as well. Like over here, if you want to get a little pressed 1p, it costs £1. Whereas I remember when we go around Disneyland, it costs about 25 cents plus your 1 cent. So that's just cheap. It's fine. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got loads of those. They're cool. They're really cool.
I have a lot from like national parks and stuff too, because they would have a lot of
Yeah.
those too.
I like it. Jordan asks, what is Robert's favourite coaster?
Oh, there we go.
That is the intro into Robert's go to, yeah, just start, just go.
All right.
Just lead the way.
All right. Well, my favorite coaster, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, is Magnum XL 200.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, and you made the picture for the thumbnail for last
yeah, I
live
did.
stream, so that was
Yes.
awesome. But geez, I love that ride so much, and I just got out there to ride it in September, and I rode it like 5 times in one day.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
It's so much fun. The line is never long; like they always move people through it so fast. You know, it's got one of the shortest lines at the park, and I know that a lot of people in the chat are probably going to say that they don't like the aerodynamics rides because they're so jerky or whatever. But I say, what fun is a roller coaster if it's just smooth as butter? It's like sitting on the
A lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I don't think. Tell you what, I can understand that, but yeah, so I think a lot of people don't like the opinion of rough rides are good in a different way. I think that's good.
But it's weird.
Are you
because
like me and you
it's,
Gives
enjoy
it character.
It's weird because it's not a rough ride. Like if you ride like Mean Streak in the back of the park, like that was pretty rough if you rode it in the very back seat, which I did when I was there right before it closed, pretty much. That was rough, you know, because the whole ride it's just moving in every direction. But
Yeah.
the thing about Magnum XL is it's like it's the track is very smooth, and so when people say it's jerky, it's actually the very sharp, you know, drops.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, ejector air time or whatever they call it, you know. And so a lot of people don't like that and say that part is uncomfortable. But I think that's the most fun part about it because those are very specifically timed moments. You know, it's like not the whole ride is like that. It's just those parts at the very end. And even in between, it's just a very straight, smooth, long section, but you feel these positive and negative G-forces in a very, you know, short amount of time. It's a lot of fun.
It's very odd, the aerodynamics track, the way that it is just kind of like constant gradient segments.
Yeah.
It's very different to what you see nowadays.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, the great thing about it is you can really, on that drop, feel yourself accelerating towards the ground, you know? Like, if you ride Millennium Force, like, I love that ride, too. But on the first drop, you just keep going and going and going, so you don't get that feeling of rushing towards the ground. You just get that feeling of being, like, flipped forwards, and it's more about rotation than it is about, you know, the actual drop. But that's, I mean, I don't know. I just love that feeling of you can actually feel gravity taking over and you're just going straight towards the ground and going faster and faster. It's so much fun.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So what's second then?
Matterhorn Bobsleds.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's an old one.
No, I mean, it's also because that's kind of my home park is I'm like 15 minutes from Disneyland. And so I love that ride. Again, that's aerodynamics, but not the same designer. But that is one coaster that I do really like the theming. Like, I'm not a big guy on theming, but I love that goes through the mountain, and it's, you know, so many close calls with the scenery around, and it's one of those rides that I've never, like, I still haven't figured out the layout. You know, like a lot of rides you've ridden so many times that you get used to, like, oh, we're going to turn this way or turn that way. But that one, like, because there's 2 sides to it, you know, and so you go one side to the other, and it's different every time. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
It's a very old one, you know. The first roller coaster in the world to feature a tubeless track, so
yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly. But it's great because they didn't do reach testing on that roller coaster, so you can still put your hands out and you can, like, touch the ceiling and, like, scrape your hand along the floor when you're going down it. I don't know. You're not supposed to do that, but
I found that on Bluefire. I could, while you were in the indoor section, I could touch the roof. So I just had my hand up, touching the roof as we went along. So it's pretty bad.
It was really crazy because I rode Matterhorn once, and for fun I put my hands like as high as I could on the lift, just going up. And it was the weirdest thing because it's pitch black and you can't see anything until you get to the top because they have a little like window with snow, and then the Yeti appears. But at the bottom, I had my hands all the way up, and it was weird because I feel this big concrete slab just brush, like, I don't know, like a foot over my head, and I never knew that was there. Like, you know, riding it so many times before, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, like this is.
That's weird.
Yeah, it makes you feel like, wow, you really should hold on this ride because I mean, it feels dangerous, you know, and
well,
I don't know. I love it.
I imagine it has that kind of sense, just due to its age, you know, being one of the groundbreaking attractions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really like a wild mouse coaster, you know, with the little short, quick turns, you know, and it doesn't have any huge drops at any point, but still, it's I mean, it's continually fast. You know, like a wild mouse coaster kind of slows down after every turn, but that ride, especially if you ride the left-hand side at Disneyland, it just keeps going faster and faster. It's a lot of fun. And they got some great head choppers too. Like there's one where the other track goes over you, and then you dive right down. And I always have to lower my hands because it just looks like it's too close, you know.
Yeah, you see that on loads of coasters when just random everyone drops their hands when they go into a tunnel and then puts them straight back up again right afterwards.
Yeah,
I just keep my hands up all the time,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like I know they like now modern coasters like they've done so much thorough testing that even the tallest man in the world couldn't touch anything. But there's still just that subconscious.
Especially on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not on Matterhorn they didn't test. That wasn't a thing. They're just like, hold on, or else you're gonna lose your hands. So,
yeah.
I saw a comment in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. If anyone has a question for me, just say Robert at the beginning of your comment, and I'll try and read it. But someone asked, "What was your first coaster?" And it was also at Disneyland. It was Thunder Mountain Railroad, and I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I didn't even know what a roller coaster was.
Yeah.
I just saw that it had a train on it, and I loved trains.
Who doesn't love trains?
I loved trains as a kid, and so I'm like, yeah, take me on the train ride, because we'd just done the Casey Jr. circus train, which is the actual train on tracks that goes around in a little circle through like Fairy Tale Land or whatever it is.
At Paris, it's a proper roller coaster as well.
Yeah.
The Casey Jr. or the Thunder Mountain?
Yeah, no, the Casey Jr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like a mine train kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool. Well, it's weird because the Casey Jr. at Disneyland, it's not a roller coaster because it's on steel tracks and it's like a little diesel-powered engine, but it has a lift hill at one point.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, so you actually go up. It's like the mine train at Knott's Berry Farm. They've got the Calico Mine Ride, and that's not a roller coaster, and it's powered, but they still have a big, long lift section on that.
Yeah.
So that always kind of cracked me up. But I actually had a friend that she worked at the park, and she ran that ride for a while, and she said that was one of her favorite rides at the park because you go through all this nice scenery at the Casey Jr. train. It's great.
I can't even remember what the first roller coaster I've ridden was. I don't know.
Really?
I only remember my first roller coaster with an inversion. That was Thunder.
I don't even remember that.
Which got removed
a
couple weeks ago. RIP.
I can remember looking at like the likes of Air and Nemesis and just going, "Wow, I really want to ride those." But I can't remember my first one. I don't know.
Mine was Colossus.
Oh, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Mistakes were made.
That's why I hated coasters. That was the only one I went on.
Yeah. It's probably some like small children's ride. But I'm not exactly sure which one. I've just been riding them for ages, so since I can we've been going to theme parks since I was a really small kid, so
yeah, I can remember when I went to Disneyland, like when I was 6 or 7, I cried because I was too short to go on Space Mountain 2.
Wow, that's dedication, that is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just ran onto Kraken at SeaWorld. I was too short for that, but I ran past the person. So, got to get on those coasters.
Oh, I'm so bummed. I missed Kraken when I was at SeaWorld in July because I went there and it was late in the evening, and I was there with my sister. We were going on a trip to parks in Florida, but I got into the park at like 7 p.m. and the park closed at 8, but it was raining, so everything was closed. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to ride all the coasters, but I got in line for Mako because they just opened it up, and it was closed up until 5 minutes before the park closed, but then they let us ride it twice because everyone had left because the park had been rained out.
Yeah,
so it was worth it.
So did they close coasters in the rain then?
Well, I think it was lightning.
Okay.
So,
yeah, not normal rain. You don't usually close them, but lightning. So.
Yeah, but it was so much fun because it was late at night and it was still kind of drizzling out, and there were only like 8 people in this train.
Yeah.
It was like you had the park to
cool.
yourself just for 2 rides. It was amazing, and we got stuck on the block break run for like 10 minutes. Like
Why?
they have like a break section in the middle ride, the mid-course break run. And the first time around, like it'd been raining, we just stopped and we sat there. Like, and it came to a hard stop, everyone was out, and I've never seen a ride like one of those rides actually stop there. But we sat there for like 10 minutes while they figured out something in the station. They finally let us go. But if you've seen the video, like the final turns around that ride are really steep because you're supposed to be going through them really fast.
Yeah.
We went through them so slow that we're all like leaning like sideways,
Yeah.
like trying to hold on so we don't like slide over. But yeah.
Is it good, Mako?
I actually really enjoyed it because I think they did something a little different with the airtime hills. Is that they make it so it feels like you're like a fish jumping out of water or whatever, like a shark. I think that's what they did after. But they do it where it's really, really heavy, quick G-forces where you're going upwards, but then you kind of float like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
At the bottom, and it's and it's not like most B&M rides I feel like are very smooth positive and then smooth negative. But this one was like very strong positive and then very like mid-range negative. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I kind of see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that overbank turn right after the first drop is really fun because you're kind of just up and pushed up against the sky for a bit, and at night that was really fun.
Oh. Love to ride more hyper coasters. I've only been on well, especially B&M hyper coasters. I've only been on Silver Star, which apparently isn't meant to be very good, but I enjoyed it. So
it looks cool from the pictures. So
yeah. Aaron, there you go.
Yeah, my father walked in, so.
No.
I think my reaction was quick enough, though.
Yeah, no, you did. I didn't see. It's not like Lee. Lee just lets his whole family walk in just for the hell of it. What was I going to say now? Someone said they count DGBT as a credit. That's just wrong. That's just wrong.
what is that?
Darren Brown's Ghost Train.
That is not a coaster.
It's not a coaster at all.
I don't.
It's a very,
I don't
very
count
good track.
alpine coasters either. They don't count.
Really?
I don't think they do.
I know.
Even though I do count the powered or Mac powered rides.
Yeah.
But some
mine
people-
trains, they're fine.
Some people don't count the powered ones.
That's
I
silly.
don't
odd.
count the power rides.
Really?
Hey,
Oh
It's a roller coaster?
no,
Come on.
it's if it's got consistent power on it the whole way.
But it's not consistent though, is it?
no.
Well,
It
if
changes?
if the engine shut off and removed itself from the track, I feel like that would be a true roller coaster because you
So
actually get the coast part in
yeah.
it.
Yeah, but then you could argue stuff like booster wheels halfway around. Is that still?
Yeah, like RC Racer.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because I see what you mean. You only want roller coasters that get energy and then for the entire course don't have any more energy. You see
Well,
what I
you
mean?
can have more energy. There just has to be points in the ride where there is no way to stop the ride or no way to give it more power, where it's just free rolling. And if you've got an engine on the back that's still on that gear, track, then that's still something that's regulating the speed outside of gravity taking it over.
Yeah, I need the credit, so it counts for me.
I'm at 108, and that's not counting any alpine slides or any alpine coasters or powered coasters or log flumes or nothing. So
I'm only at
Do you
65.
use the little cable cars that you used to get from one side of the park to the other?
What? Do they count as a credit? Is that what you're...
Yeah.
No.
Well, no,
Fuck,
they
what-
do.
Which ones?
He's talking about like the Sky Ride and stuff like that.
How is that a roller coaster?
Ones that you get into. What are they called now?
Well,
Like you mean those ski lift things?
Yeah, the ski lift type things.
That's not
once
even
you're on it,
close.
there's no way to stop it, so that's kind of like...
Yeah, but it's still powered. That's what it's
That's like calling a Ferris wheel a roller coaster.
how did you get it? Ferris wheel.
You really got me right
I
there.
got that.
can I go ahead and answer a few of the
Yeah,
questions that people have been
sure.
asking? Okay, so someone asked how old I am. I'm 21. There you go. Someone asked if I'm a Disney fanboy. Yes and no. Like, I follow the parks, but I just follow them as an amusement park fan. And I watch a lot of Disney movies, but that's because I was a film student. And so it's just a lot of stuff that they do happens to align with stuff that I'm interested in. But since I live really close to the Disneyland parks and I had a pass for 2 years, I would go a lot. And I've got a couple friends that still work at the park. So I'm in the loop with all that stuff, definitely. But I'm
I see
not
what you did.
in the loop like a roller coaster.
Hey.
but I don't consider myself a hardcore Disney fan. So there you go.
DreamWorks for life.
What?
DreamWorks for life. You heard that?
Well, DreamWorks doesn't really have a theme park, but yeah, I've been watching all of the animated Disney films just to say that I watched them. Like I've gone through and watched, like I watched all the Spielberg films that he ever directed, and I watched a lot of Alfred Hitchcock films that he directed, and so now my next list is going through all the Walt Disney, pure animated films, and it's really interesting to see how they've kind of evolved over the years. So.
Definitely. I'd say Zoe's a fangirl of Disney, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bit of hesitation there.
Most girls are though. Like, let's not lie.
It's true, but
Well, are you
Pretty hardcore.
like a Disney fangirl or
It's just a
or
Disney.
like a park fangirl, like the Disney park?
Well, I'm a
Or the
Disney
films.
fangirl, but
It's
then if I
often-
go to the park, it's like amazing. Like, when we went to Disney, I went for the Disney and Harry went for the rides. So
mistakes were made because the ride's terrible.
yeah, so I won.
Ooh. The rides.
When you
It's about the experience, man.
when you best coaster, right? When one of your best coasters is a marathon spinning coaster, you fucked up.
Well,
Let's be honest.
that
They
was
can
good
be
though.
fun
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good, but they're not.
unless you-
Like
unless you put them in some kind of crazy busy park where the queues will end up like
It's
at
true.
least 1 hour every single day. With
Aaron,
some
that's what you gotta do the
annoying
strats, mate.
seagulls in the station, like that's not gonna help. But the coaster itself is fun.
Aaron, you gotta run. That's the first ride you go to. You wait in the
Yeah.
gates and then you run
It's
straight
like-
to it.
Even if you like Rock and Roller Coaster more, you just run for Crush Coasters.
Yeah,
just so
exactly.
you don't have to wait for it.
That's literally what we did. That's what you have to do. It's crazy.
I just kind of hate Disney because they made my life hell for about a year after Frozen came out, and all the girls were like singing their songs.
Okay, Brendan, get out.
One of my friends that works at Disneyland right now, she is staffed
Ah.
at the Frozen show, and so she has to hear it 4 times a day.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Jeez.
You can't complain.
That's crazy.
Oh, there was one more question, or someone said they liked the log flume video that I posted. If you haven't seen it yet, I just posted a video yesterday. I built a little mini log flume in my backyard with rain gutters, and I got a garden hose to go down. A little tinfoil boat goes down it. So thanks to the
It's
person.
very cool.
Yeah.
You
And,
can link it in the chat if you
oh, I can do that.
want. I think so.
Okay,
I'm
let me
not
go.
sure if it allows links.
I'll link it otherwise. So you try and then I'll do it. if
Okay,
not.
I'll give it a go.
What else questions we got? Saw the ride makes me hurt. Wow. Saw the ride's a very good attraction. It's lovely. Raptor at Gardaland is so good. I imagine it is.
It's got
big-
really cool trains.
It's got really cool theming. So the whole of its little. I don't know what you call
For
it. but-
B&M, it's really well done. Especially the
That's a
trains
bit
are very
rude.
nice.
Yeah, but I think quite a few of the wing coaster trains are very nice.
True.
Even to the point of like, whatever Cedar Point's one's called. What's Cedar Point's wing coaster called?
Cedar Point Swing
Gatekeeper.
Coaster is Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper. Even the Gatekeeper trains are somewhat nice.
Yeah,
nicely
that's
themed.
because you have a little bit of space in the middle just to put some
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly.
They can't just leave it bare.
Ah,
Like even Six Flags would put something there.
it's true. Six Flags.
Even if it
Quality
just would be the
parts.
sign or something, they would put something.
Just put a sign on top of it.
A sign.
is-
That's
That's what they
theming,
do.
right? That's theming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of American parks class is theming. You get a really big sign and make it beautiful, and then there you go.
And just put a QR code on it as well, so you can like have an animation on it.
Yep, perfect.
The cars in the car park count as theming.
Yeah, the car park is the theming, Brendan.
It's
I
really
mean-
cool how there's like different theming every day.
it's dynamic theming is what it's
Yeah.
apparently called.
Different every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Don't know what more you'd want. It's like you're going around Scream, and you can see all those white lines. Quality theming right there. Quality.
Gosh, that coaster is a true parking lot coaster.
It's got to be one of the worst situated rides I've ever seen.
It looks cool from when you're in the parking lot looking at it. It's like that looks cool,
Yeah.
but then when you get on it, you're like, oh yeah, we're still like in the parking lot.
If you see like a view from like an aerial view, it just looks completely out of place.
Yeah.
It looks like, oh, we've run out of room. There. It's just crazy. It looks wrong. Just
I mean, the least they could do is at least put like artificial turf like under it. You think like
they could have just got rid of the white paint, but well, apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. If they would have put some like fake grass all over it, it would have been fine. But no, apparently not. Apparently that's too expensive.
Yeah, I remember
it's
that
good.
ride being really fun when I rode it for the first time in like 2005. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just I have a hard time having fun on that ride anymore. A really good floorless coaster. We're talking about floorless coasters. Is Dominator at King's Dominion? I think it is. Like that
Yeah.
ride is built to be a floorless coaster. Like it's
Yeah.
such a great like the first loop and the first high speed turn and all this great stuff. And that's really fun. Like in the front seat, you know. But something like Scream is I don't know. It's cool the first time, but then it gets like less cool.
Yeah, of course. I haven't really been on many floorless coasters. We don't really have that many.
Oh yeah.
I've never been on one. Well, only like a floorless dive one, but
Well,
it's
no,
not
no.
quite.
See, I've been on Kraken, but I can't remember it, so I don't. It's not in my credit list. All of the rides that I can't remember riding or pre 2014 aren't on my credit list. Just because I can't remember which ones I've done, and I just can't remember them, so I don't class them. So yeah, it's alright. I'll get back there. I'll do it one day.
Someday.
Yes.
Got it. Someone asked, "What is the best parking lot coaster?" Oh gosh.
Well,
Let's take a look at some Six
I've
Flags
got
parks.
a feeling this is going to be in America. Just a
Me
gut
too.
feeling.
I have that one as well.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, you've got the Buffalo Wings one, like
Buffalo
Taylor,
wings?
or Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure.
Oh, this Desperado.
Yeah.
That's not a parking lot coaster. Like it goes
It's
through the
built
hotel.
around a parking lot.
It's true. It is.
It really is.
Are you getting that from Taylor's video? Is that why he said?
Definitely.
Is that why he said Taylor? 'Cause I saw that video.
I mean,
It's true. It is built around a parking lot or a car park, so it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like they still tried to like integrate it with like the
Yeah.
surroundings where it goes, through tunnels, and they've got like the rock work scenery with a log flume and.
yeah, but it's still
yeah,
a
I don't
parking lot coaster.
Well, if any coaster is near a parking lot, you could say Gatekeeper is right next to a parking lot. It's a parking lot coaster. It's like
Scream
it's-
is pretty bad at Magic Mountain.
that's
Yeah,
what we were
Scream's-
talking about.
Oh,
Scream's
really?
awful.
I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
What did you think we're talking about?
I didn't really get it, but I thought you were talking about a hypercoaster.
No. Saying that,
I didn't
Silver
pay enough
Star
attention.
is in a parking lot as
Dude,
well.
that is one parking lot coaster.
It really is, but it wasn't that bad. I found that was alright. It wasn't.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's
It is
because
bad,
like the walkway leading to the entrance goes like next to it, so it kind of
Yeah.
adds to the experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Adds to the
it's just-
experience.
well, the experience of entering the park. That is.
Yeah, no, it does, but on ride, it's not
Yeah,
the most
obviously.
magnificent thing. I did like the solar panels on the car park though. Did enjoy those.
Mm.
Just looking down. Yeah. I can't really think of that many else ones. It's actually surprising that thinking about Silver Star like that. Never really thought of it as a car park coaster before, but it really is.
Oh, EP has one. No.
No.
I feel like if they at least make some effort to change the parking lot, or
Yeah.
move it over, or add grass, or add something, then it's not, a parking lot coaster. But yeah, when they don't even change the pavement, that's pretty.
Yeah, definitely. I cannot type.
The thing with Europa Park is that they added like many bushes and trees around it, so it kind
Yeah,
of
they did.
doesn't quite feel like one
No, that's
massive
true.
parking lot. It's not just or asphalt.
Mm-hmm. It seems like quite a few hypercoasters are just because they're so big and they have to be built in large spaces. Like take Intimidator 305. If you look at that from aerial, that's just in huge amount of space.
Yeah.
You know, it's really crazy the amount of space that's just in front and around it is it's very odd.
But that was built kind of in the forest, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of, yeah. I think they had to do a lot of sorting the ground out to make it all flat. But it is built out of the way towards, I think it's one of the corners of the park anyway. I think, if I'm right, I can't remember.
Got it. Oh, hey, I didn't finish reading my top 5 coasters.
Oh, okay. Where did we get to?
So there's Magnum XL, Matterhorn Bobsleds. Number 3 for me is Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm.
Ah.
It's really fun. I think it's one of the best launches in the U.S.
Well, yeah, hydraulic launches are the best launches.
And it goes right out of the station, too, so you get a really great, like, perception of speed, especially if you sit in the far back seat, you know, and, like, late at night, too, because you just shoot right out of there, you know. It's pretty intimidating, actually, if you're riding it for the first time, but that's a lot of fun. And then I put X2 at number 4. And then number 5, I actually put Desperado because I really enjoy that ride. I don't know. I love the Aero Hypers.
How much is it to get to the ride?
You can, I think for $30 you get an all-day pass to ride as many times as you want, and maybe $20.
How many rides do you get? Is the queue quite short, or?
It's really short. Yeah, like I've sat on that ride like 3 times in a row on like a Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That makes sense then, I guess.
Yeah, so there's like it's weird because it's like a roadside roller coaster, but it's like something you'd find at a huge amusement park. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. Like it's really shaky, but it has a speed to it that, you know, never really gives up. And I almost lost my cell phone on it once because it was like,
wow,
I don't know, so intense. But I love the ending too, where it goes like through the rockwork, the log flume, and right around kind of the back of the hotel. Yeah, just it never lets up. Like they have a mid-course brake run, but you just blast through it. I don't know. You hear the noise of it trying to slow you down, but it doesn't slow you down at all. It's awesome. So, and then top 5 wooden roller coasters: Cyclone at Lakeside Amusement Park, Giant Dipper at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, Grizzly at Kings Dominion, The Beast at Kings Island, and then I actually put Mean Streak for number 5 because that's a great ride in the front seat. So there you go.
Rip. I've never ridden enough wooden coasters to create a top 5 list. All it would be is Woden. That would be it because I wouldn't class the other ones as... Oh, no, sorry. Woden, Megaphobia, then that's it because the other ones are trash. So...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I just incorporate the two together now because I just haven't got enough.
That's smart. I haven't made a combined list. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to rank, you know, to compare the steel to the wood coasters because they're such different experiences. But I guess you could do it. So
it's strange that like the UK has some of the most unique coasters, even though we have so many restrictions on them.
That's the point, though. We have so many unique coasters because of the restrictions. That's literally the thing. That is how it works. Just think. If Alta Towers didn't have height regulations, they wouldn't have built the Smiler, would they? Because they were like, let's just put a big coaster in. But the Smiler was built because of height regulations and because of the lack of space they had. That's why it's got 2 chain lifts. It would only have 1 if they could just, you know, build a really tall one and then make it go around. But they just don't have enough energy for it.
Fair enough. So what you're saying is we need to ban wooden coasters everywhere.
No, wooden coasters are good. New wooden coasters, you know, from the likes of GCI and Gravity Group, they're A-okay. Let's get rid of all the other ones. You could maybe keep Megaphobia, maybe put some new trains on it, because it's a bit too rough. But yeah, wooden coasters aren't bad, it's just a lot of the old ones are very rough.
Yeah.
They
don't age well, that's the problem.
No, I don't want to think about how Woden's going to age, but
well, I mean, it's
hopefully
GCI, so I don't.
Hopefully, it ages well.
I think EP will maintain it well.
Yeah, hopefully they better do, and SW8 when it comes about. It's going to be fun. Wait, Big Dipper is Airtime Machine? Nah. I haven't been on it in a while, to be fair. What else we got? Big up Megaphobia. Yeah.
Someone
Carry
said
on, sorry.
Robert is an Aero fanboy. That's true. Aerodynamics is my favorite manufacturer. There you go.
Everyone likes a certain manufacturer, like Aaron,
Intamin.
Brendan.
What?
Brendan likes no.
What's your favourite manufacturer, Brendan?
B&M. Yeah.
Zoe.
Vietnam.
Someone did me.
Harry.
Harry.
Gerstlauer.
What a surprise.
Right.
Love the Gersts, mate. They're unique. You know,
Okay.
they are. They're unique, right?
I think it was more John Wardley, having the influence there. than
Yeah, but
Gerst
I
as
could
a
say
whole.
I could say the same for all of the B&M coasters in the UK, because it's true. John Wardley pretty much designed all those as well. So John Wardley, what we've learned here, is a great guy.
John Wardley is the best manufacturing company.
Wow.
I still
I'm
prefer Stangle.
Wow, yeah. There's a few very popular, very well known layout designers and stuff like that.
Have any of you read John Wardley's book? Like, he has a book about
Yeah.
Nemesis or something.
He has
I read it.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I got around to reading it at some point. So I guess then you did, Rob.
I haven't. I've just heard of it, and so I've been thinking about reading it. So,
It's less about roller coasters than you'd expect.
so what
it's
is
like-
it about?
It's about his life.
Oh, okay.
So he talks about how he did magician kind of stuff, and then he talked about how he got into kind of making props for stuff, and then eventually that led to making props for amusement parks, and then he helped design a ghost train, and then it kind of just spiraled on from there. Then he was told to, well, no, he was given the task of increasing visitor numbers at Chessington and turn Chessington into a proper theme park. Then did the same with Alton Towers, and then kind of just carried on. It's very interesting. I mean, without John Wardley, the UK theme park industry would be in complete tatters, most likely. And you think you've got a few coaster models off the back of John Wardley as well. The flying coast, B&M flying coasters, B&M dive coasters. I guess you could maybe say Gerst infinity coasters, but probably not. And Intamin vertical drop. Not what are they called? The ones that just vertically drop down. Intamin drop. What's that called? Anyone know what I'm on about?
Which
No.
one do you
13.
mean?
13.
Oh.
Oh, the trick track.
Yeah, well, yeah, the trick track. The one that just drops straight down. It's not called vertical drop, is it? It's called something else.
Drop track.
Oh, I can't remember. I don't think it's dropped out. Let me check.
Just type 13 drop.
That is what I'm doing right now. Now it's just giving me how big it is. That's useful. Vertical freefall drop. There you go. Maybe it was vertical free. There you go. Vertical freefall drop. So Alton Towers has 4 new roller coaster models. I don't want to brag, but it's pretty cool. All right, that's enough of that.
I don't think we have enough Gerstlauer roller coasters in the United States for me to really have a whole lot of interaction with them.
No. Have you been on any? What ones have you been on?
I actually don't know if I have been on one. I mean, because there's not a whole lot out on the West Coast or in the Midwest, or I mean, where are ones in the U.S.? Like I hear, like is Daredevil Dive is Six Flags Over George's? I haven't been on it. I think my family.
That's
has.
a Gerst, yeah.
Okay.
Then you've got Monster at some park. I can't
Lagoon?
remember. No.
Adventureland.
Adventureland,
yeah.
something like that. Lagoon, Cannibal Lagoon is built in house.
Yeah, that's
very
not
similar
Gerst.
to it. It's very similar to a Gerst, but
Okay.
it's not a Gerst. But yeah, there isn't that many. There's, yeah, it's a shame, man. I really love Gerst coasters just because they're very different from what everyone else does. Like they're very compact, very tight turns, very inversion based as well, which I quite love.
Yeah,
So-
they're fun.
They are fun.
They're not
Especially-
meant to be like big. They're just
No.
meant to be very twisty and full
Yeah.
of inversions.
Yeah. And they do a great job, especially the ones with lap bars. They're really
Yeah,
nice.
especially the
I see.
Infinity ones.
Yeah, the Infinity coasters are definitely a step up from
Like Junker,
Fives.
Caraco.
Mhm.
Right.
That sounds
Monster.
awesome. So you go like upside down and you only got a lap bar on.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. We don't have enough of those here
Well,
yet.
no one has enough of those, unfortunately. It's kind of a new standard that a load of roller coaster manufacturers have been bringing in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like more and more have been
Mack,
just putting lap
Intamin.
bars. Yeah.
Or RMC, they've got the little
Yeah.
RMC.
bars and stuff. So
Yep.
which I've only been on Twisted Colossus, but I enjoyed it.
So it'd be very interesting to see how everyone moves forwards. But on some coasters you can't really do lap bars. Like imagine an inverted coaster with a lap bar.
Flying coaster.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that, would you? You'd be stuck.
Everyone's just like hanging by their.
I
Yeah.
mean, if Hero
Oh,
would
ow.
take them, it would be better.
Oh, what?
If Hero would have lap bars only, it would even.
If
be
Hero
better.
didn't exist, it would be better.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it does. So
Dude, I think a Vekoma SLC with lap bars would even be nice. Like you would
Yeah,
have
no, I'm sure it is.
headbanging.
no, you'd be fine. But isn't that what the Vekoma vest restraints kind of do?
Well,
Give or take, to a better degree. They're probably
mean,
make
I
rides
haven't-
a lot smoother.
I haven't experienced the vest restraints on an SLC, so I can't really judge. But I'm sure it's better, but still not very enjoyable. I think.
What about on Speed of Sound? Have you been on that?
Yeah, well,
With the-
unlike the loopers, it's fine. Like Python as well.
Yeah.
It's good.
No,
Definitely
it'd be
better.
interesting. That's definitely what they need on Space Mountain too.
Mm-hmm.
That's so bad.
I had a friend who was there recently. And she's not a roller coaster fanatic, but she actually said she enjoyed that ride just because it was
Yeah,
a much more
I-
intense experience than.
I
the Space
enjoyed it
Mountain
as
Tour.
well. But Harry
I got
didn't.
off it. No, I didn't like it
Neither.
because it's. I imagine it would be a really good ride if I was able to enjoy it, but I wasn't able to enjoy it. It's just I don't usually feel how rough roller coasters are, but that really hit me. The seat's just not comfortable to begin with, right? My knees are against the seat in front, and then during so many of the versions, my knees would bang against the little bit that sticks out.
Yeah.
And you know when you bang the side of your knee?
Yeah, those are the old Vekoma trains.
Yeah.
Sadly. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
Rock and Roller Coaster has the same thing, and Express.
Yeah, but Rock and Roller Coaster isn't as rough.
No, true, but the seats are very.
Very weird.
Yeah.
The train designs are cool, but
Well, I mean, they have to be designed so you can't put your hands up because that wouldn't be safe with the support structure,
Mhm.
and so that makes it quite awkward to sit
Yeah.
in them.
yeah, I think they're just not very comfortable seats to begin with. They're all very hard and they're not very cushioned.
Yeah, well, Space Mountain is getting new ones, so
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
that should be
Space Mountain.
good.
It
What-
should. I can't wait to ride that hopefully again with the better restraints.
What would you say is the most cushioned roller coaster seat out there?
Some
Cushion.
GCIs
Yeah,
are
Woden.
so
I was
comfortable.
gonna say Woden's really cushiony.
It's
It's like
crazy.
you're sitting on a sofa. It's great.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the
like,
Cyclone at Lakeside is
Robin
like they
Hood-
haven't changed the trains since 1920. Like at the Cyclone at Lakeside, and it is just a huge like cushion thing. It's
Yeah.
like you're sitting on your little porch seat or something, but it's so
Stunning.
much fun.
But
It's
it
the only way to make
doesn't
it smooth.
always help because Robin Hood at Wallaby is a Vekoma Woody, and it has cushions all the way, and it's painful. It's really painful.
Mate, Sean loved it. Come on, you're just a wuss.
Oh man.
Sean loved it.
I don't know if it's cushiony, but like Air, well, no, Galactica, Air. You know, it's like the nicest thing ever. You can just kind of like relax in it and get thrown about.
It
and,
is,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a relaxing ride, though, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's more forceful than Blue Fire, but yeah, it's quite a relaxing ride.
I don't believe that. I think.
I do.
It's definitely not.
Never again.
Never again.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Only front row. Only front row. It's not worth it otherwise. Oh.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
it's not worth it because you get assigned to a seat. Like if you could choose back row, it'd be fun.
Carry on, Robert.
no, I was just gonna say if we need another topic, we could talk about either getting over your fear of roller coasters, or if you never had a fear of roller coasters, how you were introduced to them. I thought that'd be fun to talk about.
Yeah, that's a good topic. I can't really remember being scared of roller coasters.
Someone had asked earlier if Mean Streak is a 2017 or 2018 project. My bet is still on 2017 because the construction is already underway, but who knows?
I think it's going to be
I
2018.
don't know. It's tough. Think so? Okay.
It seems too
'Cause you can
fast.
see pictures of they've already got. Yeah, I know, but they just have to like tear it up. Like, I mean, the track's already there, like at the site, and they're starting to put it up. And I just feel like that can't take an entire year and a half. You know. So,
That's true.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Add to Cedar Point's many attractions.
Right.
Shouldn't really be the park to get a new ride, should it? Out of all the ones at the Cedar Fair chain.
Yeah, well, it's just their flagship, and so they want to make it the best possible. So.
Well, it's a bit unfair on all the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. They had, what, Valraven open 2016?
It was this year, yeah.
So why do they need a new one? That's why I think it's going to be 2018, because it just seems like Valraven's too close to it.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. They are getting a lot of free press out of people discussing, when it's going to open and what it's going to be like. So I think they're going to milk that for as long as they can. But it just feels like it's progressing very fast. I mean, I haven't followed a whole lot of these conversion things, but I don't know how long New Texas Giant took. I could look that up because that was, the most similar project in terms of scale. So. Oh, and then I can just keep ranting about stuff.
Yep, go.
I drew these little I'm trying to come up with an idea for a new roller coaster, and this that I built out of Legos or like wooden planks or something, and this would be the leaf blower roller coaster. So you put a little like leaf blower aiming into the tunnel, and then you could have the cart come around and go in, and the air would push it, so it'd be able to go all the way back around to the top by itself. But then I don't know. I was just trying a couple different layouts. This one's a little different. Trying to make it so it's a little more complex because I always try and, I don't know, make it more than just.
So kind of like a launch. Kind of like a launch and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Outside of Hot Wheels, the little boosters that they have with those, I haven't really done anything that's like actually launched. And this would be something that could work pretty consistently, I think, because there's no moving parts. It's just air. So.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a try. It'd be interesting to see how it works out.
That's the idea. I don't know what to call it. I don't know if I should just call it like leaf blower coaster or Lego leaf blower roller coaster or something. Coming up with the titles and the thumbnails is always a tricky part for me because I want to market it, but I don't want to, lie about what the video is.
Just put Lego launched roller coaster.
Lego launched roller coaster. Well, it's tough because then it's like it's not launched like a normal roller coaster. This would be the world's first air-powered roller coaster. I mean, I know they have pneumatic. Or
Lego
hydraulic.
leaf blower launched roller coaster. There we go. Perfect.
I might just drop launched altogether, but I'm not sure. No.
Fair enough. Be interesting.
I could keep talking about all the parks that I visited. Like I have that list. All right, here we go. Basically, let's see. Starting in June, I visited Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. That's up on the coast of California, and I didn't get to ride both roller coasters there, but I did get to ride the Giant Dipper, which is just a really classy old wooden roller coaster. We rode it in the front seat and the back seat. But that ride is amazing how much they kind of pack into that small space with only a not too much space to work with, and it only goes around the circuit. I mean the little circle space like 4 times, but they pack so much in there, the little hills and the little turns, and everyone is having so much fun on that ride. It was just terrific and a great location too. Right by the ocean, and then you got like the forest over to the other side. It was just really terrific. So that ride jumped right to my number 2 spot. But we've got friends that live right up next to it, so I hope I'll be able to visit that place in the future. And then I also went to, in July, I got to go to Florida, and so I went to SeaWorld just to ride Mako. I didn't get to ride anything else, unfortunately, but it was worth it because it was brand new and got to do it twice. Went to the Magic Kingdom, which was weird having gone to Disneyland, I mean, a lot within a 2 or 3 year span just because I'm so close to it. And I had a pass for a few years. It was weird going to Magic Kingdom because it's almost the same thing, but it's just like slightly different, you know? Like everything is just a little more spaced out, and some of the rides are a little newer. And so, although I still like Disneyland more, just because Disneyland has more of like the charm to it. And
seriously, you think that Six Flags, Magic Mountain, and Disneyland California are similar?
No, I was talking about.
I was gonna say
Kingdom.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just completely lost it. What? So the one over in Florida?
Florida is Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
So they're similar. No, I didn't say. Did I say Magic Mountain? I hope I didn't.
I heard, but that's what I'm writing stuff on Magic Mountain, so that's ingrained.
Okay. Someone in the chat should confirm whether or not I said Magic Mountain or Magic Kingdom, just to double check, because I do make a lot of mistakes like that. So
I'm sure you're probably right. So carry on.
Let's see. Oh, someone in the chat said, someone was singing Smash Mouth in the chat during the break. I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty great. So,
no, I didn't.
Keeping the public entertained. Good job. And Makaria, I think she says she's leaving, so peace out. But thanks to everyone for tuning in on the chat so far and keeping those comments going. But let's see, other parks that I visited. So I went to Magic Kingdom for a day, and we did almost everything. And it was weird because we went like July 3rd, and that's a holiday weekend for us here. And you feel like it would have been super crowded, but actually, like, it wasn't really that crowded because I think it'd been kind of rainy that day, so the forecast wasn't great.
Yeah.
At the Magic Kingdom, but it was nice. It was just empty, and so we got on almost everything that we wanted to. And it's so funny riding stuff like Thunder Mountain. That's like a mirror image of the one at Disneyland. Like it's like the same, but it's just a little different,
The same but different.
Yeah, I do miss not having the Matterhorn down there. I know that they've got their own new little Seven Doors Mine Train ride, and that's pretty good. But it's not as thrilling as the Matterhorn in my opinion. So.
Wow, I don't think was it meant to be though.
No, it's definitely meant to be a family coaster. Yeah. The queue line is very fun actually. Like I've been really surprised. Like they've really upped all of the queue lines at Disney World. Where like in Magic Kingdom, like in the Haunted Mansion and in Seven Doors Mine Train and at Thunder Mountain, you've got these interactive queues. So it's like you can play games like while you're in line. Like they have these little like touch screens that you can like play like this gem matching game on in the Mine Train, and in Thunder Mountain you can like spin a wheel and it'll make a geyser go off somewhere near the track. So that's really fun, and you see that they're really trying to integrate fun activities into the line, so it's not as monotonous. Because Disneyland is very interesting because a lot of the queues are just really tightly packed into the park. Like even though they've got like really nice theming, especially like the Indiana Jones queue is just absolutely incredible. It's still like they're very enclosed and there's nothing super interactive. But I think that's sort of a new trend that you see, especially with Disney stuff. But they also had for the the little elephants, Dumbo. They had a queue where instead of waiting in line, the parents can go in for their kids and they get a little like buzzer thing like you're at a restaurant. And you put in a reservation, and then the kids can go across the way to there's this little like playground tent, and they go play in the playground. And then when your buzzer goes off, you go and actually get in line. And that's really smart crowd management stuff. So I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, it's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was something I haven't really seen at a park before, but that they're really stepping up. And then the next day, I went to Universal Studios, Florida, and Islands of Adventure because they're right next to each other. So we did all the roller coasters there. I think there's 5 total between the 2 parks. There's Rip Rocket roller coasters, the 2 Dragon coasters, which used to
Dragon Challenge or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, it used to be Dueling Dragons. I've actually heard rumors that they might get rid of that or retrack it, similar to what they did with Hulk. Oh yeah, Hulk was closed. I just missed that ride. And it reopened like a week later, and it's like, oh man,
that's a shame.
Yeah, so that's one I've always kind of wanted to do because it looks really cool with the launch and it goes over the water and everything. So that's still on my to-do list. But then like the Mummy ride, that is really fun indoor roller coaster. Really fast too. It surprised me. Like the Mummy out here in California at Hollywood it's all right, but it's a lot smaller. I think it's indoors. I think it's a premier ride, and you kind of have some nice bumps and stuff. But like the launch is pretty tame. But then the one in Universal, like you really take off in the one in Florida, and you kind of like shoot. Like the launch is like really steep actually. Like the one here in California is sort of a gradual launch. But it's the one in Florida, you launch up and at a really steep angle, and then you kind of bank off to the side all of a sudden, and it's really crazy, especially if you're sitting on one of the edge seats because you get thrown up or tossed down depending on where you are. It's a really fun indoor roller coaster, and then like the new Harry Potter Gringotts ride. It's cool, but it was more simulator than it was roller coaster, even though it is technically a roller coaster. So I was a little disappointed because I feel like they could have had a really cool opportunity to do some more Mine Train stuff. But that was a ride too with the queue. It was probably cooler than the actual ride itself. You go through the whole Gringotts Bank and like down the elevator to like the mine shaft or whatever it is where you board the train. And so I was really into the whole environment at the Universal parks because Disney has their different sections. Where it's here's our little section with a theme, here's our section with a theme. But what was cool about going to Universal is you could spend a whole day and you'd just be in the Harry Potter world because you can ride the train between parks to go to the village, and then they have like the city. Gosh, I can't remember their names of what they are in the movies. It's Diagon Alley and what is it? Do you remember the name of the village? Is it
No.
Oh, it's Hogsmeade. There you go.
Yeah. You know more than I do, so.
Yeah, I mean, my sister is a big Harry Potter fan. I've only seen the movies and read the first book, but I've inherited at least a lot of it from my sister and a lot of my other friends that really enjoy those books. So that park was great, really cool. I like it way better than the California Universal Studios because the coolest thing about the Hollywood California Studios out here is they've got like the tram tour where you kind of go between all the different studios and you see the backlot and the different sets from like Back to the Future and Psycho and War of the Worlds and all this cool stuff. But that's kind of the main deal, and then everything else is a simulator. Outside of the Jurassic Park ride and the Mummy ride out in California, it's all just simulator stuff. And so I feel like the Florida parks are very, very strong with theming and a wide range of rides that are, roller coasters, and they've got water rides, and they've got, they have some simulators, but it's not all simulators. So that's, I like that a lot. And then I also I'll just read these off real quick because we've probably already talked about it a bit. Magic Mountain, I have a pass this year because it was like $80 for a pass. Really cheap. Went to Knott's. Oh, the Ghost Rider retrack at Knott's. Really great. I think that ride is a terrific wooden roller coaster. I liked it a lot before, but now it goes even faster at the end thanks to the GCI remake, and it's a total blast. I actually got my glasses. Yeah, GCI is terrific. They might be my favorite wooden roller coaster manufacturer at the moment. I don't know, but my glasses, I kept my glasses in the pocket during the ride. I don't know if you can see this, but they got scratched up on Ghost Rider because I had to put them in my pocket, and so it's kind of like battle scar. I don't know.
Oh, it's a shame.
Makes for a good story. Then I can tell someone about roller coasters if they.
Yeah, it's very true.
But everyone keeps thinking I have a smudge on my glasses, and it's like, sorry, it's permanent.
Can you see it when you look through glasses?
I can, but it's weird. Like if I keep I noticed it when I first put them on, but then if I keep them there, I just ignore it.
Yeah.
For some reason, like
you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach just tweeted me. It's become a CoasterBot classic, and it's a screenshot of the stream saying video was interrupted. The streamer has stopped streaming. So now that's a thing. So another dank meme has become the fact that I cannot host the live stream that stays up anymore. Which is
Crashing the
unfortunate.
stream.
Yeah.
Crashing the stream with no survivors. That's what they say in what is it, The Dark Knight Rises? or
Dark Knight
something.
Rises, yeah. I love that scene.
It's such a classic line. Like I've heard people quote that both like ironically and unironically, but I think it makes a great quote.
If I pull that off, will you die?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to do. Never mind.
Get right, Brendan. What else have we got? So going back to before the crash, we were speaking about whether we were afraid of roller coasters and how we overcame that fear. And I said, hopefully this won't crash again, that I had never really been scared of roller coasters, but I remember a few years ago I was always somewhat anxious about the first roller coaster of the day. So that would be the only time that, you know, my heart starts to race a bit more than normal leading up to the ride. But now I don't feel anything. I just get on it and enjoy it. There's no kind of fear or anything, and I can't really remember there being a fear. So, what about you?
I do remember being afraid. I mean, like when I first rode Thunder Mountain, like I got on it and I felt like I've been tricked into something because my dad's like, "Put your hands up, it's so much fun," and I was like terrified because it just felt so out of control.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just like, this shouldn't be happening. Like something's gone wrong. You know? But then, like, I didn't really ride roller coasters a whole lot for like several years. But then I started playing games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and learning about how, you know, there were all these parks outside of just Disneyland that, you know, just had roller coasters. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. But I was definitely scared of roller coasters. Like I could do the little ones, but I was scared of the really big ones. Mostly just the really tall ones, the really fast ones. Like when I went to Cedar Point for the first time in 2004, I was too scared to ride, I think, Top Thrill Dragster, and I barely got on Millennium Force, and even then I had my eyes closed the whole time, you know. But I was like 10 years old, so I mean, going right to that with having only gone to Disneyland, you know, before is like, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, it's true.
And like even Top Thrill Dragster, we went back to Cedar Point in 2006, and even then I was still too scared to do it, and I did it for the first time in 2010. And so my youngest brother, Matthew, like he's 6 or 7 years younger than me, 6 years, and he did Top Thrill Dragster before I did, just because he jumped right on it. But he'd had his whole family, you know, to help him get over his fear of roller coasters. But yeah, all four of my siblings, we all love roller coasters.
That's good.
Yeah.
What about you, Brendan? Did you ever have a fear? Is he there?
Am I here?
Hello. Did you ever have a fear of roller coasters, Brendan?
No.
No, just you just got on it and enjoyed it. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, Zoe, move on swiftly.
I think we all know that I did.
How did you overcome it?
You.
What did I do to help
Like,
you overcome it?
You were just like, come on, let's go on it. And I was like, okay. Well, no, actually, I said I wasn't going to go on it for ages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I used to wait for you at the start.
Nah.
Did I not?
No.
Oh. Okay, well, I just got on it because you told me to.
There you go. Just listen to people, especially if it's me. If I tell you to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned here. No, what was the first ride that we went on? Because I can't remember. Was it Nemesis Inferno?
Was it?
I imagine it was either Nemesis Inferno or the Swarm.
Yeah, it wasn't Colossus.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't any of the others but those two. Because we did a B&M first because I told you that it'd be very good, and you were like, "Oh no, I don't like the ones where your legs dangle." And
it was Nemesis, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you found it really good. You found it. Well, I don't know if you found it really good, but you enjoyed it a little bit at least.
Yeah, but I've never been on it.
No, well, obviously. But yeah, I think it definitely is about building the confidence up. You know, you start off with something small and then build on it, rather than just jumping in at the deep end, you know, with like a huge tall roller coaster. You just step it up incrementally.
Yeah, and don't go on Colossus as your first ride.
Yeah, go on a quite a smooth, good ride as your
Yeah.
first big one. I think that will definitely help.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a fear of roller coasters because their first experience was so negative. At least
Yeah.
talking to a lot of friends, and they were forced to go on a ride that they didn't want to, that was either too big or too intimidating, and they just didn't enjoy anything out from it. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, yeah, obviously they have the best ways to, even if it's not a roller coaster, like just even doing stuff like if you go skiing or snowboarding, or even just like riding a bicycle or something where you're used to, like, you know, gravity pulling you down a hill or something, can help you at least get used to it, you know, feel like you can, you know, overcome your fear and not have to be scared because you understand what's happening.
Yeah, I think understanding is quite a big part of it. If people knew more about rides, now I doubt they'd be as scared of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the media picking up every story that, you know, of a roller coaster crash, and they just blast it over. And obviously, like, you know, just driving a car is more dangerous than riding a roller coaster or just walking down the street. You know, more dangerous. But, it's crazy how just if one single ride, if something goes wrong, it's broadcast all over the world. So
yeah. What were you gonna say, Zoe?
I don't know. Oh yeah. I think once you start telling me like how it all works, I felt more safe.
Yeah.
Because before I was just like, oh no, it's just gonna break and I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you know, when you know more about how the whole thing works, and you know more about, you know, if a breakdown happens, it's okay, and it happens for your safety rather than it's breaking, then you see a whole different light to them.
Yeah.
That's the point. When you see a coaster break down, you should be like, oh, thankfully everything's working, because most of the time it is just the sensors messing up, which are oversensitive to certain things. So, you know, yeah, it is definitely about just trying to understand. What else have we got? Favorite flat ride?
yeah, I said that my favorite flat ride, it'd either have to be like the Whip at Lakeside. You know, if you've ever been on one of those where it's just a little oval, but then you're riding in a little car, and then when it goes around the turn, it pulls you around real fast.
Oh yeah,
those are super fun. Especially the older the ride is, the better, just because it has the real rickety thing going over the floorboards and stuff. So, but other than that, like, I don't know if Pirates of the Caribbean, if you call that a dark ride or a flat ride or what you call that. But that's
what is it?
That's
because there's so many of them. What ride is it?
What?
What kind of ride system is it?
It's Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. It's like It's a Small World. It's a boat.
Oh,
in
a
water.
boat ride.
Yeah, so it's a water ride, but it's all indoors, so it's technically a dark ride too.
I swear we went on that.
Yeah, but he's probably talking about the is it California one?
Yeah, California.
Yeah, but it's probably exactly the same. Let's not lie.
We've been on one in Disneyland Paris, and we found it a bit boring, to be fair. But it could be a completely different ride.
Great.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I was expecting a big drop and to get wet, and then there was nothing, and I was like, oh. So it was a bit
for the drop, and we like shot ourselves when it went down the tiny one. And
Yeah, the one where you go back up the waterfall at the very end, if it's the same, and then you're up the chain lift, and then you're right back at the station. Yeah, like
yeah, I think it is similar.
Yeah, I just like it. I think for the scenery the most, just all the animatronics, and the one at Disneyland is I think the best, because that is the same sort of thing where Disney World has one that is a copy of it, but it's an imitation, but it's like it doesn't have the charm as the original, just because the original was like this was the first time that they were making animatronics like this in a ride, and I love rides like that too. Like, if you've noticed with old theme park rides versus new, at least with the dark rides with storylines and stuff, is that a lot of the older Disneyland rides, they don't really have this story structure, but they go from scene to scene, and it's more atmospheric. But a lot of theme park rides now, especially Universal rides, like if you do Forbidden Journey, that's very story based, of like Harry's like yelled at you like, come along, let's go, like follow me, and you follow Harry Potter through everything. And for some reason it feels less involving, even though they're trying to like involve you.
I see what you mean.
Just because someone is yelling at you and telling you what to think and where the story is going, instead of you being able to just experience the atmosphere and the scenes for yourself.
Fair enough. Someone asked a good question. What, in your opinion, are the best spinning coasters? So the best spinning coaster that I've been on is Crush's coaster at Disneyland Paris. So that's a marathon spinning coaster. I do quite like marathon spinning coasters, but they're good, but they're nothing incredible, if you know what I mean. But Crush's coaster has a nice lengthy layout. It's indoors, got lots of twists and turns. Got a pretty good first drop as well, and then it's got the kind of like story with it, especially the way you like drop outside. Everyone sees you go past outside, and then you go into the indoor building with a bit of a story.
The ocean.
Yeah.
Right?
The ocean. You go into the ocean, then you go up the lift hill, which is like in a submarine or whatever, or in a boat that's been sunk, and then the shark guy pops out just while you're going up the chain lift. It's all very good, and it's got a nice story.
The queue
around
area
it.
is amazing.
Yeah, when you get past the cattle pen queue line and
Yeah,
actually
right.
get inside, it's quite good. What about you guys?
The
What's the
same.
question?
Best spinning coaster, mate?
Best spinning coaster.
Spinning.
Spinning.
Oh, I think it was so confusing.
Like pinball.
Like Sonic, not like Spinball Wizard. Sorry.
I'll go if he doesn't have an answer.
Yeah, you go.
Well, the problem is though I've haven't been on that many. Like I've only been on like whatever it is they have at like the state fair. Like they've got the one that seats 4 people right next to each other, and it's like it looks like Primeval Whirl or whatever that is. But I haven't ridden that one, so I've only ridden a couple of the. Gosh, who makes it? Like, is it Pinfari that does those? The little, portable spinning coasters. But
yeah, the like the mouse coasters, the spinning mouse.
Yeah,
coasters.
yeah, spinning mouse coasters. Those are.
I've been on Primeval Whirl actually, ages ago. I can't remember it, but I've been on it. Yeah, I think the little like spinning mouse coasters are all right, but I don't find them particularly that fun, just because they're very, all those tight turns really force you into the side. And I much prefer the marathon spinning coasters because they're more of a actual coaster with the spinning element more than, one that just really utilizes the spinning. So.
Yeah, one that I'd love to get on here in the U.S. is I think it's Busch Gardens Tampa just opened up, like Serpent's Curse or Cobra's Curse.
Oh yeah.
And that sounds really cool because you go forwards and backwards and spinning, all in one ride. So that seems cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Someone asked what my favourite flat ride is, and that's Maelstrom at... Actually, no, it's Flip Flop at Flamingo Land, because that is it's similar to an Intamin gyro swing, but made by a different manufacturer, and the ride time is... the cycle time has got to be about 3 to 5 minutes long, so you're sitting on this flat ride
I thought
for
it broke.
so long.
I literally thought it broke.
It just keeps going. You just keep swinging, and you never stop. It's crazy. So I enjoy that. The best themed dark ride, as Robert said, Pirates of the Caribbean is very good themed dark ride. I'd say you could call it a dark ride.
Yeah.
But then stuff like Derek Brown's Ghost Train is also a very well themed dark ride.
Oh, I want to ride that so bad.
Hopefully they've fixed all of the issues with it for next year.
Okay.
But yeah, this year it was extremely buggy. It was down a lot, and yeah, it's a shame really because it's such a great concept, but it's just been really hard for them to pull off. So hopefully this year they can improve it.
Okay.
What do you think of the theming of Bubbleworks? The theming of Bubbleworks was a bit... It all got a bit grimy. It really needed to be renovated, I'd say Bubbleworks did. Which is what's happening, so Oh, in a way it's good, but in a way it's bad, obviously, because you're losing the original bubble. Well, not even the original, but the Bubbleworks theme. But I think that ride definitely needed a retheme. It was all just a bit outdated, to be fair.
I think the Tower of Terror has really great theming, at least the one here in California. Like you've got the cool like outdoor queue with like going through like the palm trees and stuff, and then you go inside into the lobby with cobwebs everywhere, and into the library, and into the huge like boiler furnace room. It's just very cool.
Which one do you prefer? The one at Disney World or the one at Disneyland?
I haven't ridden both. I've only been to the Magic Kingdom, and so I haven't done the Hollywood Studios. So
you won't get to though because it's changing, isn't it?
No, it's the one here in California Adventure is changing. So the one in Florida is staying the same.
Oh, so you've done the one in California?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done the exact same one that I've done in Paris.
Okay.
Because only the Disney World one's different. All the other ones are the exact same. Which is quite interesting. But I've also
the one in Japan had like a cool like Japanese theme to it or something.
Probably some sort of thing, but the ride system for the three except for Disney World is the exact same. Whereas Disney World has an extra tower, an extra drop tower element, and you actually go through a scene in the Disney World one, which is quite interesting. Whereas all the other ones, but Tower of Terror is such a great ride. It's definitely one of the best rides that Disney have ever came out with, because it is just such a good story and such a good attraction altogether. It's one of my favourite rides I've ever been on, to be fair now, definitely.
The great part is that the story is all building up to it, but then once you actually get in the elevator and drop, then you're just kind of on your own, it's not like most theme park rides now. They're trying to push that, like, quick, we need your help to fight this villain, or like, but then it never really like closes it, but you get to experience it, and you're all hyped up for the whole story throughout the whole queue. But I'm sad. I think that they're changing out here because people love that ride out here, and Florida for most people is just too far away to go to experience the original ride. But at least they're keeping the ride structure and giving it a Guardian. Sad because you sort of see this trend of rides, at the park moving towards all of them being franchises or park properties. Like they just changed. They just changed something else at the parks. Gosh, I can't remember what exactly it was, but at least they didn't change Matterhorn to like Frozen or something when they revamped that a year ago. I was thankful for that.
I know what you mean. It's a bit of a shame that Disney aren't really that interested in making the original things anymore, but they're just piggybacking off their IPs and stuff like that.
Like at least with Tower of Terror, I know it's based on the Twilight Zone, but for one that was such an old property, that it felt new, and then they also made up their own original storyline that didn't involve any characters or anything from the old show, so it was all still new within that world or whatever. It was Space Mountain. They did a Star Wars overlay for Space Mountain. And I don't know. It's kind of like, it's cool because it's Star Wars, but then it's just like, I still like the ride in the dark, the original one, the best. Like even though they have the Ghost Galaxy is cool and like Hyperspace Mountain is cool, it's just really cool when it's the original way that they designed that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Someone asked if I could remove any ride from Drayton Manor and replace it, what would it be? I'd definitely remove G-Force and replace it with maybe a good old... I'd like to see something different, something that isn't in the UK already. But at the same time, I'm thinking Drayton Manor is a very, very family-based park, so maybe a family coaster, so maybe a marathon spinny coaster, or maybe some sort of ride similar to 13, an intimate family coaster, or something similar to Verbolten or something like that. I imagine that'd be quite good, like a launched family coaster. That would be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of a whole cool new genre that I didn't think would be a thing like 10 years ago. Was the family launching coasters?
Yeah.
Like what? Like I thought they were all for the ones that would go the fastest and tallest, but you see stuff like Manta at the SeaWorld out here,
Yeah.
and even like Cheetah. What is it? Cheetah Hunt. Like even that one's still pretty family oriented, I think. So.
We got favorite roller coaster at Cedar Point and why, Rob?
Well, I already said. I mean, Magnum XL is my all-time favorite roller coaster. But then if I had to go number 2, oh gosh, it'd be tough. Like I love Top Thrill Dragster, I love Raptor, I love Maverick, I love Millennium Force. But Maverick is weird because most people at that park, like that you just asked what their favorite ride, will say Maverick, no hesitation. Because it's the most intense ride, but it's also like the smoothest, is what people say. But I'm always kind of bugged how the second launch, it sort of like interrupts the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
stops you.
It brings you to a stop, and then speeds you back up, and it feels like 2 separate roller coasters. Sort of how Twisted Colossus feels, where you have the 2 separate lift hills that are right next to each other. It feels like you're just doing the same thing again. And I mean, I love roller coasters that it's all from, that initial either lift hill or launch, and then it just carries you through the rest of it. And so I wouldn't say Maverick, but I would say, gosh, it's hard to choose. Valraven is actually really good. Valraven might be my favorite B&M at the park out of all 4 of them, I think. Like it's big and it's kind of slowish, but really beautiful view of the park.
Yeah.
It's sort of like elegant. I like it better than Gatekeeper for sure, because Gatekeeper, I think, just has more lag time kind of in the layout. Gatekeeper is a really great first drop if you're in the front or the back seat, but like your back seat on the side is so fun on that first drop, but then the whole rest of that ride, it just slows down, like, and gets less and less exciting as it goes. But my brother really likes it. It's his favorite ride at the park, or one of his favorite rides, whatever. So gosh, I don't know what I'd be able to say for number 2. I'd probably have to go Millennium Force, just because it's such a long experience, really beautiful, really fast. I actually almost blacked out when I rode it. I know people say it's forceless or whatever, but if you sit in the front or back seat on a day where that ride's really cooking, like it's all positive G-forces from that bottom of the first drop, to the air time hill for a good 20-30 seconds.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my Cedar Point rant.
Adam says, "Hey Coasterbot, do you believe Stealth is an iconic ride to England or just another vertical accelerator?" I think Stealth is quite an iconic ride in the UK, just because of how tall it is. Because many of the rides in the UK aren't tall at all, and you've got to think Stealth is the second tallest roller coaster in the UK. So I definitely think it is something that's very unique compared to other roller coasters in the UK. So I do think it is an icon. It's a good ride. I find vertical accelerators to be too short, but I imagine that accelerator is quite good because it has the overbank turns after the initial top hat. But yeah, I find Stealth to be interesting, but just way too short. What else we got? Favorite ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain, Rob? X2?
Yeah, X2. I would say for sure. But close runners up, I really enjoy Viper because there's always a short wait for that one, and it's such a big long roller coaster. I like Apocalypse. I know it's shaky as heck, but that ride, since that's their last wooden roller coaster, really enjoyable. Full Throttle is fun, very short though.
Yeah.
The very
seems a bit pointless.
But it's better than being one of those premier, launch coasters where it's just the like half pipe thing with the twist at the top,
Yeah, the Skyrocket 2 model.
Superman Escape like shuttle coaster.
Yeah. Skyrocket 2, yeah, that's it.
So it's funny because Full Throttle looks like it's more than that, and it's really not a lot more than that. But it does have a bit of an edge of like at least it goes over the terrain. It's got a cool loop, and it goes back over the loop and the tunnel. I like Twisted Colossus a lot, but the problem is if it doesn't duel, it's not nearly as much fun.
No, definitely. I definitely understand what you mean. It's like when the Smiler doesn't duel, it's not as impressive, and then when it does duel, it's just a masterpiece to watch. And I imagine it's the exact same for Twisted Colossus. Dueling coasters is just really, really cool concept and just really cool to watch, both from off-ride and on-ride. Yeah,
it's a shame that Dueling Dragons has stopped dueling. I always thought that they could put nets like in between like the loops, and points where they had people throwing stuff at the other riders, because that ride would just be so cool to see that duel again. But I don't think there's any way it's going to happen, unfortunately. But it's like that's what it was built to do, So
yeah, it is a real shame. Definitely.
Even rides like Gemini is really fun when you got both cars going at the same time. Still fun by itself, just because the tracks are so closely mirrored. But when you have both cars going at the same time, it's so fun because you can all try and high five each other, and just that racing feeling is so fun.
Yeah, it's the same with the Grand National at Blackpool. I mean, that's a painful ride, but it's quite fun to watch the other side. It's quite fun to race the other side.
I bet it
Mobius
probably
loops,
does. It have that bad like vertical shake that what is it at King's Dominion and King's Island? They have their rides like the Racer or Rebel Yell.
I think so. I think it does. Yeah. Last time I remember, it was just very. It just threw you about. No, it didn't throw you about. It was just very shaky. I think you're right. I think it is that.
It's if you sit in the car, and it's one of those 3-row bench cars, like PCC trains or whatever it is, where you would sit in either the front or the back. And like if you sit in the middle row, you're kind of okay because the car's not really wobbling around that.
Yeah.
Someone's comment just came in saying the Grand National.
It really is. It's such a painful ride. Oh my god.
I don't understand how that happens. Like I don't mind like shakiness, but if it's the same thing like over and over and over, it's just like, how is this thing designed to like why?
It's old though, isn't it?
What?
Grand National's like 1930 or something. Let me find out.
Oh, like the ones at Kings Island, Kings Dominion are newer, so I feel like they have less of an excuse to have that happen.
Grand National 1935.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, tear it down, RMC it. Let's go.
No, I'm actually kind of sad that so many coasters are getting RMC'd. Like, it's a very smart move for the parks financially and for the general public. But I just love wooden roller coasters, and so it's kind of like seeing them all get paved over, and just replaced entirely. Even though they're like, oh, we're kind of transforming it. It's like, well, no, it's a totally different type of ride, and I don't think all the wooden roller coasters. I think we still have a very strong collection of wooden roller coasters in America.
Yeah, you definitely do.
I think it'd just be a shame if everyone, took their roller coaster and just put the steel track on top of it. Because I do love stuff like, I know people said that like Mean Streak was had a boring layout and stuff, but it had a layout. It just kept going. It's like 3 minutes long, and it's. It's very rare on a roller coaster to have that moment of like, I'm still on this thing, sometimes it's all just, it's a launch and it's over, or it's just a lot of inversions and it's over. But, some of my favorite rides, they have that moment of like, man, we're still like flying. You can like start to appreciate it more just because it's like, I don't know, like riding that roller coaster late at night with, I don't know, my whole family and all my cousins and stuff. And you're all on this train and it's, oh no, I guess I'm just sentimental.
No, I do see what you mean. I think I definitely appreciate when rides are longer.
Yeah,
because
also,
you stand.
Also, like the intensity thing is that RMC is so intense that you're just kind of like bracing yourself for every next element. Like it's smooth.
Is it really?
Granted, like it's very smooth, very well designed, but it's like we're going from one incredible element to another incredible element. And you don't really get that breathing space of like, oh, I'm actually like. On this, like you don't get anticipation of like, look at that thing coming up, or whatever.
Yeah. I'd say the same of that is that on Nemesis. There's about 2 points on Nemesis where you get time to just realise, all of it is just really intense, except for one stall turn and then the very last turn onto the brake run. All the rest of it is just relentless. It's one of the most easily one of the most forceful rides I've ever been on.
Yeah.
But it's great, and we rode it in the dark for Scarefest, front row, and it really made me appreciate how lucky we are to have what is considered to be the best B&M invert in the world right there, because it is such a good ride that I've ridden so many times that I kind of underappreciate it now. But wow, it was so crazy.
Yeah, but those moments of, even if it's just like 2 or 3 seconds of just catch your breath, they're so important to a roller coaster, because then it's like they almost kind of like relax for a second, but then it comes right back, you know, and then just keeps going, and that makes it even more fun when you have that moment of like, we're still surviving, we're okay, we're right back into it, you know.
I'd love to ride an RMC, but
yeah, I mean, I've only been on Twisted Colossus, but I might take a trip up to, I think Discovery Kingdom has the new Joker coaster up in the Bay Area near San Francisco.
Yeah, they do.
So that would be interesting. I would like to ride like a hybrid, like not a hybrid, but the ones that are actual wood track, you know?
Yeah, the wooden, and it, like Outlaw Run.
Yeah, like that sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think, is Lightning Rod, I'm not sure if that's wooden track too.
Find out.
I don't know. Someone in the
Lightning
chat
Rod.
says, what do you think about Wildfire standing not operating? That's so sad. It's like that they could build the whole ride and open it, and then the government changes their mind and says,
I don't think they should be able to do that, really. That's just stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's wooden, isn't it? Lightning Rod, because it's the first launched wooden coaster, so it's the wooden topper track.
It is,
rather than the iBox track.
Cool.
So,
cool.
I think we'll start to wind down here. So get your final questions in, and then Coastazilla says, made it. Well done, Coastazilla. Jake, you are right. Nemesis is definitely Bay. America is doomed. Wow. The Retro Gamer, I have been on Nemesis Inferno. It's good, but it's not Nemesis. So, you know, it's a good attraction, but I just feel like the layout is quite weak compared to other B&M inverts. So yeah. What else we got? Everything at Blackpool is made to kill. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's true. I mean, just look at most of the rides are pretty bad. That'd be good to see, you know, a Mack launch coaster come there. Definitely what's needed. What's better, the Smiler or Saw?
Cool.
The Smiler's better than Saw because it's smoother, longer, more exciting, and just more interesting and fun. A lot more fun. Yeah. What do you think of a launched wooden coaster? Well, Lightning Rod is a launched wooden coaster, and I imagine it's apparently Lightning Rod's an incredible ride, and I'd love to ride it. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't. But I'd love to see more launch wooden coasters. I think that'd be quite an interesting mix. Maybe one from like GCI or something like that. That'd definitely be cool.
Oh, that would be sweet, like a GCI launched coaster.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be so cool.
It really would.
Someday.
Need one of those. One day, yeah, they'll get around to it.
Yeah. I wonder if they have like precise enough wheels to be able to line up with like launch fins and stuff, because there could be that issue if they have a bit of that rattle room, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up.
I don't know either. Well, Lightning Rod has done it, so other people can, I assume.
Right, but I mean the RMC track, like it still has, you know, it's very precise.
Yeah, it's definitely precise.
I
don't know.
Feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more movement when I ride a GCI coaster.
But there, you can get a lot of movement between SLM fins. You can get 40 centimeters worth of movement in between the two fins. Huh. So I imagine that they could theoretically do it. I mean, 40 centimeters is quite a lot. It's 40 millimeters, not 40 centimeters. That's just crap.
So it's
40 millimeters. 4 centimeters, which isn't a lot, but you know, like that much. But
I can't see
Maybe
your
they can do
video,
it.
or else.
Well,
I've got a
just
ruler.
imagine-
We're good.
just less than 2 inches if you're American.
Got it. No, yeah, I know. I got centimeters. Like,
You got the.
I don't know
the,
why we have our weird measurements for everything. But sorry.
Yeah. Metric is superior.
Yeah, I guess so. No, we have to use the metric stuff in all our science classes. And
It's good. It
everything.
makes it a lot easier.
Yep. Yeah, because apparently they had that like a U.S. I don't know satellite
yeah.
that crashed
I heard
because
about
they
that.
used the wrong metric, or they used metric, or used imperial instead of metric.
Yeah, I think some teams used metric and some teams used imperial, and then it just completely messed up. That's hilarious.
Crashed into the planet or something.
Oops. How to factories CERN. Is that meant to be factorize? Look, Jess, unfortunately I don't have the time to tell you how to factorize CERDs, but I'd love to. Maybe one day. I think we're going to call it there for the stream. We only had one crash today, which is a step up from 3. So maybe next time we'll have 0 crashes. That is the hope. Now look what Brendan's done. Lovely. Thanks for that one.
You're welcome.
Quick, end the stream. Just kidding.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Robert, Brendan, Zoe, and Aaron for being here. I hope you all enjoyed yourself, and I hope you enjoyed Robert ranting. I did. It's very interesting.
Sorry. Hey, you told me to go for it.
No, it was great. It was great. It's really interesting to hear what other people think about certain things, because you never get the chance to just talk to a really deep, like the way that you like just kept going on to tangents with Cedar Point. It's great. It's great. So
yeah, I put in the chat. I put my top 10 list of my current standings of all the rides, and I didn't include like the last 5 or 6, but let's see if people agree with that.
All right. So
it's
thanks for
fun to hear other people's opinions. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for watching, everyone. That's been it from us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.